Hi, Matt Durges, component editor with Electronic Design, and we're here at EcoFocus 2011 in New York City. This is a great show for engineers who are interested in the environment because everything here is green. Everything is meant to be environmentally friendly. Everything is supposed to be good for the environment, you name it. And it's going to put some green in your wallet. So let's go take a look. Today we're talking to May Shibata, who's going to show us some very interesting energy-saving modules that people can deploy around the home. And it might be something for some of our engineers out there to think of in terms of analysis. So take it away, May.
Great. So this is a Modlet. It's an outlet that basically plugs into your wall outlet and replaces it. And what this allows you to do is it allows you to wirelessly monitor your electricity use as well as control the power that's used by appliances so that you can save money month after month after month. And where you're able to see all of this information is on your computer. So what the system does is it sets up its own wireless network, communicates to your computer how much power you're using, and shuts off power when the appliances aren't being used. So that way, at the end of every month, you can look on your computer and say, you know what, I've saved $30 this month. And that's what you can do every month. One way to make this real is to actually see how much power an appliance uses. So this is a typical water cooler in an office environment, and this is how much power it's drawing over time. So what we have here is power on the y-axis in watts and time in minutes. And what we find is that the water cooler heats the water periodically, like every half an hour or so, and also cools the water all the time actually, so that it's on average drawing 243 watts of power. That's about the equivalent of 4 very bright light bulbs being on in the kitchen, except in this case that draw of power is completely invisible. So if we're able to shut this off after hours, then we would be saving $213 in this New York City office per year, every year. So what you're seeing here is the energy used by about 8 appliances or electronic devices in an office environment in Philadelphia. And these represent the daytime peaks so people can see how much energy they're using. But what's interesting here is this is the nighttime consumption. So nobody is in the office, and yet we're still using this much power. From this day onwards, we use the Modlet system to shut down the power use at nighttime, so we're actually getting to zero power consumption on these electronic devices. Here's a home example of where you can save energy. This is a cable box, and what you realize with a cable box is if the cable box is powered off, it's drawing 25.5 watts in this case. When it's on, it's drawing 26 watts. In other words, there's really no big difference between the cable box being on or off. But typically people don't watch TV 24 hours a day, you only watch it a couple of hours a day. So if this cable box were able to be shut off using the Modlets for either 12 hours, 15 hours, or 18 hours a day, we would be saving $17, $21, or $25 a year on just a single device. One of the features that this allows you to do is to use your smartphone to control your appliances from outside the home. So if you accidentally left your window AC on and you've left, you can shut it off from the outside so that you're not wasting energy on that device.
It works with pretty much any kind of a smartphone, or you have to get a specific type, like an iPhone? Or
Sure, absolutely. We currently support the iPhone and the Android.
The Android. Our mobile development manager will love that one. But let me ask you another thing too. You know, a lot of people talk about the smart grid these days. Does this do any kind of interfacing with the utility provider so that they can read the same thing that you're reading at home, so there's no conflicts?
Right, so we do work with some utilities. Con Edison in New York is one of them. So for those utility markets, if people do want to opt in to a utility program, we can do that. We're doing this with window ACs this summer, for instance. But this really is meant to be an energy efficiency tool where the consumer at home is in the driver's seat, not the utility.
So let me ask you this. Say you have a standard house, say maybe 3 bedrooms. How much would it cost to outfit a home, one family home about that size with this system?
Right, so each Modlet is $45 and the USB stick that goes into your computer is $10. So basically for a 3-bedroom home, I would expect you to use one in your home entertainment center. So let's say you have 2 of those. Maybe a home office, if you have one of those, that would be another place. And maybe there are 1 or 2 things in the kitchen, so let's just say 1 more Modlet. So maybe you need 4 Modlets for a 3-bedroom home, which will be about $170 or so.
What about maybe the washer and dryer in the basement?
So that you're not going to want to control on and off, just because if it's not being used, it's not drawing power. If you wanted to understand how it's drawing power and how much it's using from a monitoring standpoint, that would be great. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, that's very reasonable. $25 a piece. And basically, do you install any software into the computer, or it just goes plug and play and off you go?
Sure, it's plug and play in the sense that the USB, when you stick it in, has to install something that allows the USB to be recognized. But the software itself is a web application, so it's basically opening up your browser and creating a user login.
Does the company have, say, some kind of a backup system over the internet? Say, like I'm on the road, and for some reason I can't connect with what I have at home. Does the company have something that you can interface to through their website as well?
So if you want your system to be internet enabled, then you can do things remotely. We wouldn't take over the control at all. So if you happen to have a second home and you want to do this from your office or home, to control your second home, you would have the ability to do that. We wouldn't.
Last question, and I'm sure you're going to get this a lot. How secure is this? Can I protect this, say, from my kids getting in there and turning everything on and off just for the hell of it?
So there are a couple of things there. So every account has a password, so don't pick a password that your children know. That's number one. Any communication with our servers is obviously the same sort of encryption as, say, surfing the web for your bank account, so same security there. And the wireless network that's formed with the modlets and the computer is a secure mesh network that's on a separate protocol as Wi-Fi. It's called Zigbee, so that's secure as well.
Fantastic. Well, listen, thanks, May, for talking with us today.
Thank you so much.
It was
a
great
pleasure.
products, and I wish you a lot of luck with it.
Thank you.